Hey, hope you're all doing well. So, check this out. I was in a grocery store, and there was a report. I don't think they called the police, but the kids ran out, and there was a report that basically the kids were in the store. They were hungry, and they come into the store and literally just eating food while standing in the aisle. And I saw this article. Not surprising. Here it says over 770,000 kids no longer receiving SNAP benefits after Trump changes the food program. So, quick read here. As a House committee debated President Donald Trump's signature domestic policy bill last year, Republican backers repeatedly emphasized that its changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, known as food stamps, wouldn't affect vulnerable people. You're right. SNAP reforms would restore integrity to the program and ensure it works for the most vulnerable among us, including children, said Representative Glenn Thompson, Republican of Pennsylvania, chair of the House Agricultural Committee. Passing the bill would be a historic accomplishment that will ensure those in need can continue to receive the assistance that they need. Yeah, let's try it again. Those in need can continue to receive the assistance they need. And that's Representative John Rose of Tennessee. You think? Here it says, and I don't know if maybe these politicians are, maybe delusional, but hey, it says, Rep. Dusty Johnson, South Dakota Republican, said the bill would focus resources on the neediest Americans. If you're a pregnant woman, your benefits are unaffected. If you have young children at home, your benefits are unaffected by this bill. If you are disabled, your benefits are unaffected by this bill. Yeah, right. But nearly a year after the measure was signed into law, the number of children receiving food assistance has plummeted by at least 776,000, according to a ProPublica analysis. At least 12 states break down programs participation by age, and of the 1,670,011 people who are no longer receiving benefits in those states, over 776,000 or 46% were children. So when I was in the store, and here's the thing about it, it lets you know the country is not really concerned about investing in its people, especially its poor. So if you can't afford to feed people, or not that, because affordability is not the issue, I just say it's a decision not to decide not to feed people. You can really, definitely, totally forget about being able to climb up out of poverty. Not happening. A lot of people, especially in the rural areas, they voted for Trump, which is, hey, that's you're right, do you? But now they got the wake up call. But guess what? You're not wealthy. So guess what? This affects you too. I had no idea of the food security in rural America until I saw that man who had a farm was giving away excess vegetables. No meat, excess vegetables. And it was like a line like you were at a concert. It was like, you got to be kidding me. In rural America. And the line was so long, guess what? People were there for hours just to get vegetables. The line was so long, some people didn't get anything because they ran out of food. It was unbelievable. So when I was in the store, and I didn't call like where were the kids, because my thing was, hey, I get a couple of dollars, and if they want to buy something, I could go. I'll be willing to do that. Not a problem. A couple of dollars, yeah, let them have it. And look up. The lady said basically they ran. And one said to me, she's like, "Oh, you believe those kids?" Yeah, ma'am, I do. Now maybe she, and I thought, man, as a cashier, I know you're not making like a whole lot of money as a cashier, but maybe for her it's working really great, and I'm happy to hear that. But it's like, you got to be kidding me. You believe those kids? I thought, man, does she not see what's going on in the country? Inflation, grocery shopping. Maybe she got an EBT card and hers is working. Maybe she doesn't need one. But she was like, man, those kids are probably lying. I thought, wow, she lacks compassion. Or maybe in her line of work, you see a lot of theft, so you think that way. But I'm like, so kids walking into a store and literally grabbing food off the shelf and eating. You're not surprised that they're hungry. And she said, well, she's like, hey, what are y'all doing? I'm like, she's like, you got to pay for it. They didn't have any money. And they told her, hey, we're hungry. So when she approached them, apparently from what she said, they got scared and they just ran out. I didn't see them From where I was, I didn't see the children. But she was like, yeah, they ran out of here. So I was like, maybe they were afraid of her calling the police. But this here is not surprising. Hello, school is out. So school is out. No free breakfast, no free lunch. So if these children are the ones that's not receiving the food stamps and school is out, what the heck you expect? This is where we are. And it's sad. That's why I was saying before, I've been saying it's like, wow, for people having children, I just don't understand. Even unless you really got some money in the bank, you might want to rethink it. And especially if, ladies dating, we don't have time for any whoopsies. Even if you're married, a marriage can go south. The responsibility will primarily always fall on the woman. So yeah, this your thing about it. School is out, summertime, school is out. So many kids that were counting that free breakfast or reduced breakfast, their free lunch or reduced lunch is not there. So it's no surprise to hear that children are in the store literally grabbing food and eating while standing in the aisle. Not a surprise to me at all. And I've been hearing about I've been hearing about lunch programs being cut even in the Biden administration. I was hearing about it. So America doesn't really care about its poor. In my opinion, really doesn't care about its citizens. Okay? Up to maybe it's a little bit. But this is where we are. But hey, the good news is the politicians, they're getting paid. Yeah, we give them a job, vote them in, and they get paid. So yeah. So we see kids in the store eating food. I'm not going to be the one to go, hey, what are you doing? Stop that. Heck, I'll offer them a couple of dollars. But it's not surprising given the cuts in SNAP. Not surprising at all. Let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out.